Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thems and theys, to the Podcast Daddy Variety Show, the show that has no rhyme or reason, just things in season. Now here's the host with a wiener to match his demeanor, the Podcast Daddy.
Now, I don't like to be the one that repeats phrases over and over again. You know, if I talk about something, we'll call it good, and I will never revisit it again. Like, it will be left in the dirt. I said the same thing when I did the episode on piracy, and I'm going to say the same thing here. I think gaming in 2024 is an absolute shit show. But companies, I don't know how the fuck they always manage to shoot themselves in the foot and then look down at their bleeding, gushing blood foot and be like, ow, how did this happen? I don't know where this came from. You might be thinking, well, podcast, aren't you being a little too rough on these billion-dollar companies that have been running the gaming industry for the last 30 to 40 years? I would say yes. I might be being a little too critical, but as I was scrolling through my wonderful Twitter feed that is full of nothing but stupid thoughts and just general idiocracy, I noticed that PlayStation announced they are coming out with a brand new console. Now, you would think, are we going next gen already? It seems a little too early to be doing next gen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is not next gen. Oh no, it is the PlayStation 5. Do you know the console that they have released zero fucking games for except for a couple remasters and maybe, if we're lucky, something that's already on the other 58 consoles that are there? Oh yeah, they have decided to make a pro version. And not only does this include the basics that a normal PlayStation 5 includes, but it also has no disk drive. So yes, all of the 10 PlayStation 5 games that you could own, well, guess what? They are obsolete if you want to buy the Pro version. Doesn't that just make you want to tongue fuck a shotgun? Thinking that these companies care so little about your money that they're going to repurpose their product just for you to buy it because it has a Pro, and it might be able to, if you're lucky and your TV can handle it, that you would be able to fork out $700. Yeah, this is what annoys me, is because I have the PlayStation buttons tattooed on my knuckles, and every time they make a big announcement, like it's this huge extravagant thing, like we're gonna reinventalize gaming, we're gonna make it so much more than what it is. Anytime I see them make an announcement, I look at my knuckles and think, you know what, boys, it might be time that I cover you up. I might have to put something different on you because I can no longer be a PlayStation fanboy. I used to fight for this company. Like I used to be a PlayStation dicksucker through and through. That kind of changed when I got an Xbox because, you know, sometimes Xbox just has a little bit more. But with so many IPs that Sony has such a tight grip on, like Jak and Daxter, or Uncharted, or The Last of Us. Obviously, Last of Us Part 2 was trash, but we move on from that. All of these IPs that Sony has their tight grip on, they will not even touch these for some fucking reason. They will just keep buying all of these companies and just letting them die in the water. And wonder why people are saying this is a Sony fucking L. This is a fat L that these guys are taking. It's because they don't care. I have witnessed companies openly not give a singular flying fuck about the people, whether it be microtransactions or pushing out games that nobody asks for, not a single person asks for. I'm looking at you, Concord, you absolute fucking failure. We see these happen constantly, and you think, okay, well, maybe companies won't be that bad, but I have never... Even Nintendo, with their massive amounts of lawyers and lawsuits, cares a little bit more about the people, because obviously Nintendo fanboys are a different type of breed. Like, you think PlayStation guys are bad? Nintendo boys will sit and fight every time there's a new Pokemon game out. Like, oh, it could be filled with, like, the perfect example, Ruby and Sapphire. Those came out buggy as hell, couldn't do a thing. And Nintendo boys were just sitting there like, this is the greatest game to exist. And you got to think the CEO of Sony is looking at all of these forum posts or all these social media posts and think, where have all of our guys went? Like, we used to have people that were dedicated, full on, will go to bat for our entire brand, will fight tooth and nail. And now there's maybe a small, and I mean like an absolute tiny percentage of people that will be like, okay, Sony kind of has good things. It's because they don't listen to the fans anymore. They don't listen to the people that have made them millions and millions of money. And that definitely annoys me. Because like I said, I have the buttons tattooed on my knuckles. Okay, I have Sony love through and through. But also for the fact that they don't have any singular solo IPs anymore that they could say, this is our game. This is connected to our console. I think that's what bothers me most. Because Nintendo still has Mario. Microsoft still has Halo. These other companies still have their mascots, and they're not going anywhere. But Sony's like, yeah, fuck, we're not going to do anything with them. You know, we're not going to give away any of these. We're just going to let them sit and rot. In my predictions, I think when all of the major next-gen consoles come around and we start getting more from Nintendo and more from Microsoft, I think Sony will sit this one out. Either they will sit this one out, I will call it now, on September 10th, 2024. I say when the next-gen consoles come out, Sony will have nothing to present but maybe a portable console, like the PS Vita, or if they would, and we come back to a similar topic that I just said before, if they would listen to their fans, they might release a PSP2, which I understand, you know, it's, well, you can release a console, but if there's no games, then you're not going to sell it, and that is the curse of what the PlayStation 5 is going through right now. There's not been a tidal wave of games coming out. For the Xbox Series, I mean, even the Xbox One still has games that could run on it, when the higher-ups, like the Series S or the Series X, those currently are living just fine. And you're telling me that games that have been made in the last 2 years are still being able to run on the Xbox One, and we are still waiting for PlayStation 5 specific games for what fucking reason? Like, we're still allowing these things to happen? I see no good future for Sony in the next 3 years. I see a lot of layoffs, a lot of companies being shit canned because, again, PlayStation just doesn't want to work with what they have. They want to just keep riding on the train of, oh, we were a great what is the phrase? We were a great gaming company in the early 2000s, late 2010s. We were a great company then. We just don't know what happened. You know, people don't want to buy video games anymore. No, we do. Oh, believe me, the gaming industry, though it be the AAA games are fucking us raw with no lube and no cigarette after, it is still a very big company. It would just be nice if Sony would, I don't know, maybe pick up indie titles instead of thinking that the next big thing is going to come from the AAA. It's not going to, I promise you. The next big thing's not going to be AAA because all of these companies are proving that AAA games are nothing but absolute dog shit. So, Sony, if you want to keep what small fan base you have, and I know you guys don't, and I know you guys still have some, I think they really need to focus more on games and less on consoles, or else this company is going to go tits under in the next 5 years. 5 years at minimum, 10 years max. Thank you, everybody, for joining in to another episode of the Podcast Daddy Variety Show. If you like to see my slow decline into madness throughout the day, go follow me at x.com/enoughsnuff. I do streams on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday over on twitch.tv/podcastdaddy and kick.com/podcastdaddy. I would love to say that I am sticking to specific things, but it's really just whatever sounds fun, because if I play a single game more than 2 times in 1 week, I will get bored and never pick it up again. So, if that intrigues you, go over there, follow, do what you need to do. All those streams are live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you telling your friends and family about this. If you would be so kind, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your grandma at the nursing home. She might tell her nurse's aide about it, and then he's like, oh, well, that crazy bitch old Becky is telling me about that podcast again. Guess I'll listen to it. That might be a new fan. That might be a new fan right there. So, thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Have a wonderful night. And as always, please, for the love of God, it's still going to be up in the 80s. I know. I hate it as well, but it's still going to be up in the 80s. Please, for the love of God, will you keep your balls clean?